Folks, get ready to strap up those boots, strap yourself in, and depending on how much wine you have, strap one on for another high-quality episode of Vino Volley. The sultry notes you hear penetrating your ear holes right now are from myself, your mustache ride-offering co-host, Ryan Rebecki. Join us as we look to guide you through this entertainment as we try to consensually cunnilingy your ear holes with some soothing, sensual, and educational content. Today we'll be discussing the accessibility of the game we love in the 21st century, and if it is actually looking to help grow the game, or, much like a tectonic fissure or a juicy set of buns, split us apart. Now let me introduce you to your host, sitting approximately 8 feet away from me, continually shaking his head in both disappointment and laughter, your host, Michael Wall.
Happy to be here, Ryan, and what a way to start off our new way to do Vino Volley, in which we will be alternating intros and coming up with a new and spicy way to start the episode. And boy, did you not disappoint.
Thanks, man.
I mean, I'm disappointed, but you didn't disappoint.
I did it.
So happy to be back. Happy to be doing this once again. It feels like it's been a while, but it really hasn't. So I don't know what's transpired in both of our lives that it feels like we haven't seen each other.
It's been a while, but it hasn't been a while.
It hasn't.
I don't know. That's school that started. I have zero concept of time. Like, I go to school, I teach the youths, and then it's like whatever practice I have to go to, whether I'm coaching or just chauffeuring, and rinse, repeat, and then games on the weekend.
Maybe it's like secondhand smoke. Like I'm getting like secondhand high from like all you're doing, because I, by no means, am doing anywhere near what you're doing. But like I think I'm like feeding off of the exhaustion. So we'll use each other to pick up the tempo. So
we're gonna build each other up, not tear each other down.
That's right. So my friend, how have you been? Besides obviously back in the swing of things, teaching and coaching.
Yeah, it's I'm in it, and I'm hopefully in it to win it. Soccer is up and running awesome practices. Team looks great. Big 5-1 win this past weekend, so it was great to start the season off with a win. We are just hockey started this weekend. Yeah. 2 games, 2 rinks. I'm just so tired.
Yeah, but I hear that the youths, as they call them, might be one of our new key demographics.
Yeah, I had a moment of sheer and utter panic. It's like the second or third day of school, doing a little intro activity. I'm walking around, I'm kind of getting to know the kids and, making conversation. They're, getting to know like kind of how I run the show. And one kid's like, "Yo, man, listen to your podcast." And I probably turned bright white out of pure horror, knowing some of like the sick shit I've said on this. And then I was like, you know what? Good. Yeah, that was pretty much it. And then I moved on because you know what?
Hey, you're an adult.
Hopefully they're a fan.
Yeah, that's all we want. I think it's exciting. We're always looking for new followers, whatever demographic they may be. We'll take them in. We hope that what they find is a little bit of humor, a little bit of information. Maybe, they're underage, so maybe find a love for the game of soccer.
Yes.
And longing for the day that they are legal enough to really enjoy a beautiful sip of wine.
That's right. And I hope they just enjoy the lovely banter and the education and entertainment that we provide for all those listening.
That would be great. Yeah. Now, those new listeners, they may not know where to find us, so I guess we might want to tell them, as we always do.
Yep.
It's our social media outlets. VinoVolley85 is our Instagram account. VinoVolley85@gmail.com is the email address that has gone so quiet, but it's there nonetheless for those people to pick back up and start emailing in. We're always here to listen to what you have to say.
That's true.
And then lastly, VinoVolley85.wixsite.com/VinoVolley is our website, which has a little bit bio about Ryan and myself. It has all of the wines, our little write-ups, our scores, and it's also just one other way to access the podcast itself.
Lovely. Mike, how have you been?
I've been pretty good.
Yeah.
Just enjoying the crisp, cool morning air.
Love it.
And, not just sweating profusely. It's been great. Health-wise, I'm thinking the headaches are kind of starting to abate. We had the MRI, the brain scan. I can't remember if that was before or after the last episode, but that came back the all clear, which was the big like peace of mind. So we're there. Still going to meet with the neurologist, kind of talk through it, but all in all, just enjoying being me, being with my family, friends, and doing this podcast.
Changing in the seasons.
I did get stung by a yellow jacket, which was kind of a damper, and apparently it must be something like with age, because the swelling and the stinging was... Or not the sting. The sting was the easy part.
Yeah.
My arm, like I couldn't see my knuckles for like 3 days. It stung me pretty much right below the wrist. And my arm was swollen from my knuckles all the way to my elbow.
Brutal.
And the itching was intense.
I feel like it's one of those like life's cruel injustices, getting stung by a bee or a yellow jacket. You're like, why? Why does it hurt so much?
I was literally cleaning my driveway, clearing it out, making more space. I had been shoveling, raking, macheteing, spraying ground clear, nothing. I'm literally going with the push broom.
Yeah, because I saw you shortly there before.
Correct.
Yeah.
I'm literally going with the push broom, and then little sucker got right in my sleeve. I squeezed the shit out of him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he got it.
You're going to die.
Yeah, he's not going to sting anyone else. So, but other than that, happy to be here.
Absolutely.
Happy to dive in some wine, dive into this topic. So, to all our Vino Volleyers out there, it is time once again to pop those corks, indulge in a healthy pour, and dive stud showing into today's episode. So, Ryan.
Yes.
Tell the people what we're going to be drinking today.
So we are going to be drinking the Chateau Roc des Seguiers. It is a Franche Bordeaux from the year 2022. It comes in at a price point via Vivino at $13.49.
Bargain.
So definitely not going to break the bank. But let's see if taste-wise it does indeed hit above its weight. Bad above its shoes.
Punch above its weight.
Let's see. It's the classic Bordeaux Red. It comes in at an ABV of 12.5%. So
lower than I expected.
Yeah. The wine description: Roc des Seguiers Bordeaux Rouge.
No one's gonna have any idea how to find
this
wine.
You can put a picture up. That's why. Okay. The Roc des Seguiers Bordeaux Rouge.
Love it.
Had, I don't know what it has, but had a nose full of spice, parentheses, cinnamon, cocoa, and clove, and savory herbs, rosemary and thyme, immediately up front. The fresh fruit gains a lead over some time with a sweet cassis and blackberry. Framing the fruit is an empty cigar box aroma where old tobacco is just lingering around the walls of a cedar package. On the palate, the spice breaks through the plum and red currant next to fresh and effortless acid. Balancing the sweetness of the light fruit and the texturally earthy finish brought through the matte tannins. There's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah, I actually just kind of stopped
listening. I know, you were just looking through me. You had the dead eyes.
Kind of looking off
a doll's eyes.
It had the beginnings of things that I was like, that's enjoyable. And then I was just
like I looked up and you were looking through me. It was just like, come sail away, come sail away.
Well, yeah. I think at some point when you had said the tasting notes, all I could think of was it parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. So,
yeah, I mean,
well, I'll have to make my own assumptions because I really only got half of that. So that's my bad.
So maybe it'll be a surprise to you when you get the
when I'm just like, hey,
notes.
I taste this, and you're like, yeah, I read it.
There's a lot in that.
That was a lot to unchew or unfold,
unpack.
Oof, it's not off to a hot start, but. Before we kind of take our first sip, let's kind of talk about how the wine ties into the topic.
Let's.
As we know, a Bordeaux is a blend of several grapes, specifically from the Bordeaux region, but what we're really taking is just, it takes a little bit from here and there to make a Bordeaux. So
with an X.
With an X.
Because X going to give it to you. R.I.P. DMX. Go on.
You really just know how to just suck the wind out of my sails.
I have to be an adult all day long.
I understand.
Go on.
Okay.
Bordeaux, blend of grapes. My bad.
Okay. So today we're going to be talking about the soccer and media.
Yes.
And at least from a state's perspective, if you want to follow your team depending on their level of play, you need X amount of different streaming services, cable, what have you. So it takes a lot to come together to basically create this comprehensive package to watch your team. So that's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to talk about the soccer and media. Going to talk about like all the different ways that you can access it, what you need. Talk about how, potentially are we taking it for granted? What other countries, what they go through to actually watch the sport that they love. Mm-hmm. Maybe give our own thoughts of could it be done better? Obviously, no real solutions will be provided, but it's just good to voice your opinion. So kind of all encompassing.
Yeah. I noticed you mentioned soccer and the media and then the total package. We have to be mindful and bring up the fact that was it Kate Abdo got married?
Kate Abdo did get married.
And speaking of a total package, I'm sure Thierry Henry with his massive dong is crying in a corner somewhere.
I mean, obviously, you see, they're back and forth, and you see, there's chemistry there, but, man, the social media, internet just went overboard of just,
Did
Thierry
they, though?
Henry. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's married. He's got...
okay. Yeah. Those halftime shows, I'm just they gonna fuck?
Yeah. And
the way he looks at her, just it's like...
Carragher and Micah Richards over there just, watching, being like, this is good stuff.
Giving each other a soapy hand gallop?
Yeah.
How do we get here?
Usually it's you that gets us there. I don't like how that came out. We're just going to glaze over all of that, and we're going to take our first sips of the wine.
Yeah, let's.
I do have some talking points before we get into the topic, but I think we just need a break, a clink of the glasses. So that's what
absolutely.
We're going to do.
Such good acoustics.
That's the only thing that I don't edit in the podcast is that because if I drown out the sound, it's just dunk. It doesn't have the reverberation. That's the word. All right, so.
Oh, I like the smell of it. It smells like a familiar wine.
So it said cinnamon, clove, rosemary, thyme. Yep. That was on the nose.
Yep, full of spice. Cocoa and clove.
The empty cigar box, I remember that was part of the taste, right? The tobacco?
Yeah. Tobacco lingering.
There's definitely something on the nose I'm not identifying. But it's not like it's not like our typical just bouquet of fruit.
Right. But it does smell familiar.
Yes, but similar but different. There's definitely elements that are distinct, but there's other ones that I can't. I'll tell you, whatever it is, I like it. I like the smell. I love the color. Nice dark color. It's got pretty good legs.
All the sconces are on. Got some really good legs. Not for nothing.
It's good.
Yeah.
Again, though, this is one of those where I feel like some of the other wines that may not have gotten great scores, I'm really able to pick out I'm tasting this. I like what I'm tasting, but so far there's not one true flavor that is popping out to me.
I get the tobacco in the empty cedar box.
Okay, probably. Okay, so I remember that one.
Yep. It's like a sneaky light finish.
Okay, I can get that. I can get behind that. Definitely the dark fruit. I'm getting what you're talking about, the empty cigar box, that, just lingering.
Yep. It doesn't have a super boozy feeling to it.
Shouldn't it? 12 and a half?
Right, but early indications, this is something that you could probably just open up and casually sip throughout an afternoon. Every once in a while, if I'm making sauce or whatnot, I'll open up a secondary bottle and Sabrina and I will just sip that throughout the afternoon, not full glasses, but half glasses, and we're just sitting around, maybe some cheese, and no, I dig it so far.
Yeah, me too. it's definitely, there's some earthy notes on the nose.
Yeah.
You just can't.
Earthy finish. Effortless acid is actually a really good description of this.
Yeah. No, yeah, for sure. All right. So solid start.
Yeah, all right.
All right. So before we dive into the topic, I did just have some like kind of notes of like things that have been going on in the last few weeks since last we
Yeah,
met.
let's do a little housekeeping. What do you got?
So first one I had is Everton and their fan base. And more often, just like what a bag of fucking shit they are. So after
Which it's crazy they're pretty much in the same city.
So you can, it's a park.
It's literally 2 miles away, right?
It's literally a public park that separates the two. So after that, I think it was the Tottenham loss, 4-0 loss, a video surfaced of the fans berating their own players as they were getting on the train to like go home after like being beat. And so Neil Maupay like came out and was just like, imagine like, you know, someone just like going to work and people are just like ripping them a new one just for trying to do their jobs. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Like how as a team are you going to react when like your fans are acting that way? Now, granted, it's not the entire fan base, but like it only takes a few to ruin the perspective.
It's true.
Now, to the point that Maupay before deadline day was sold for Everton, and his Twitter or X post was literally Andy Dufresne from Shawshank Redemption, like just standing out in the rain like freedom. It's
never
just like,
seen it.
You've never seen Shawshank Redemption?
Not
important. But so anyway, just kind of Everton fucking suck, and I hope they get relegated. And I hate Sean Dyche, and they're on their way 0-3.
Ugh, gross.
Quick conversation topic, but is Raheem Sterling the biggest bag of shit in the Premier League for now, not only playing for Liverpool, Manchester City, Chelsea, and Arsenal?
I mean, dude's hanging around. He's making money.
Like, they're used to, granted, you've had players that have gone from like one big club to another, but I mean...
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he's like a mercenary either. Like, he's just like...
Yeah.
Playing. Now, not so much a piece of shit as when he runs, it looks like he's going to shit.
It looks like a Velociraptor has to take a shit.
Yes. One
Yeah.
big claw. Yeah, just like, I don't know, I feel like he's fallen off so much in the last couple of years where it's almost like...
I mean, fallen off. I always thought he was very pacey. He is. He's fast. His finishing is fucking atrocious.
Yeah.
And that has never gotten better. Like,
No.
He couldn't hit a cow in the ass with the shovel. Like, you think Nunez is bad?
Oof.
Raheem Sterling could fuck up a wet dream. Okay, he was so wasteful in front of goal.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I just like
he's just like I think. Do I think he's dangerous? Yes. Can he create space? Yes. Should he pass it to someone to actually finish it? 100%.
Oh, yeah.
He's not getting the job done.
He should be an assist king.
Exactly. So, but I just like have some pride. Like, just fucking leave the Premier League. Like, quit bouncing around from these top 6 teams. You know, all
because the only one he hasn't played for is Tottenham
and Manchester United.
Oh, that's right.
I mean, they're technically not top 6 right now, but anyway.
Alas,
the
big 6. Sorry,
which brought me to one of my other ones.
Yes.
After Liverpool beating Manchester United, and you know, it was the scoreline wasn't, I don't think, a true reflection of how dominant the game was.
Oh god, it could have been an absolute bloodbath.
But hey, I'm going to say it right now.
What are you saying?
Ten Hag for life. Manchester United, the higher ups are backing him. I'm here for it.
Yeah,
great. You back
job.
him. You sign the papers. I want him there for the next 7 years because I've watched that team for the last few seasons that he's the coach. There is still not 1 ounce of an identity on that. It is 11 individuals who can maybe string together a play and produce some individual talent. There's no, when you come up and get a good system, they absolutely fall apart.
Casemiro more like couldn't get Casemiro to making a play.
Ooh, I was wondering where you're going with that. Not bad.
Stuck the landing.
That would have been a good a pun name.
Oh, that would have been good.
Last 2 real quick. Pochettino is official. I know.
Official.
Thank God, because we would have been eating crow, but officially announced as the U.S. men's coach through 2026. So excited for that. Really excited to see who he's going to pick for his starting 11. Are the guys that we've seen that, it's kind of like that boys club or we're just being picked to be picked? Like Matt Turner, I think, won. Is he going to hold a spot, or is someone like Zach Steffen, who I think is a more athletic?
Big fan of his.
Yeah. Is he gonna step up and kind of get his place back? So very excited to see that. And then also excited to see, several Liverpool players flying during international break, but Trent for England, 2 matches, 2 man of the match awards. Artie's matched the assists that Kyle Walker had. Granted, I said this to Pat. He doesn't believe me, so I'm going to say it on air for all our listeners.
It's official.
In their prime, if they were both the same age, in their prime, I'm taking Kyle Walker for the national team.
You said this before.
Every time. That. Well, Pat doesn't believe me. Now, though, you cannot, I think, Trent offers you more going forward than Walker does defensively. So
I dig it.
I'm here for Trent, but those were just a few of my house cleaning items.
Love it. That was great.
Let's dive into...
Let's do it.
Soccer and media.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So I think first we'll start from a U.S.-based perspective.
Yes. Do you want to start?
Huh?
Do you want to start?
Unless you... Did you do some research?
Kind of. I'm going to paint a picture.
Ooh, okay.
It's Tuesday, Wednesday, and or Thursday during the week.
It's got a blurry picture.
Your club is playing European soccer. Let's say they're in the Champions League. It doesn't matter whether it's group play or not, whatever. And you're like, okay, I'm going to run home so I can catch kickoff at 3:30. And you hustle your ass home, maybe blowing through several red lights. You should have gotten numerous moving violations. And you come in sideways to your driveway.
Giggity.
You run inside, right? You throw the dog outside real quick so it doesn't piss all over the floor.
I feel like this picture is very personal.
And you turn the TV on only to find out you don't have fucking Paramount Plus or whatever streaming service it is. And you proceed to almost throw your remote through the drywall because in order to watch your team in Europe or in the Premier League or freaking in one of the extra cup, super club, super Mac, Big Mac, whatever the hell they're called nowadays, you can't because you don't have X, Y, and Z streaming service. It is the most popular game in the world. Why can it not be more accessible? Why does it continue to cost more money to watch the team you love and the game you love? Mike.
It's a good question. Right? And before we kind of get into what it takes to watch your team in the U.S., so is there a better way? Now, obviously, it all comes down to money, right?
Sure
Everybody
does.
is vying for the broadcasting rights because there's money to be made. But you see, and maybe because it is on so many different global stages, right? Mm-hmm. It's not like the NFL where you can have Red Zone, where you literally can just have all the games on a network and anytime there's a scoring opportunity.
Yeah.
Right? Now, Championship Sunday, they've done something close to that where all the games are on and it can switch to different games. But someone out there, some streaming service should buy the rights to all of it and create this super soccer channel where it's like, I just want one fucking channel. Like, I do not watch... we have different streaming services to watch, those. I do not watch cable television.
You don't have cable anymore. Or do you still? You have like a primitive package.
Well, we'll get into what I have.
Okay.
But I don't have like your traditional like cable box like a Verizon or anything like that.
I get fucking everything. I can't give it up.
But I just I don't watch TV. The TV is only turned on for the only thing I watch live is soccer.
Yeah.
So it's like, is it really that hard? At first I thought Fubo, because I was like, oh, this That's like the closest, but it's all just like, well, you can get this, this, and this.
Right. That's how they get you.
But it's all a racket. So
sorry, I derailed you to start.
No. This was gonna be a talking point.
Okay.
So for all our Vino Volleyers out there, if one of you happens to be in broadcasting, we urge you to find a better way.
Like, why can't you? I mean, maybe there's an easy way because you're dealing with different leagues technically, whereas like the NFL,
well,
you have ABC,
that
you've got each of the big cable station that holds X amount of a contract. Whoever has Monday Night Football, Thursday Night, but that's just your basic. You can.
Yeah.
If you had a fucking turn-dial TV, an antenna TV, you could still watch football.
I mean, or like the club itself. Like if you know your club is going to be in the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, the Premier League, the Champions League, the Europa League, could you create your like?
Well, I guess that's what LFC does, right? With the LFC TV and the LFC Go, the idea that
I've read into it a bit. I don't think it has everything.
Oh.
I'm not 100%. Oh, we can fact check that.
I don't care for that.
But I mean, that does solve a problem from a personal base. But I just like watching the sport. Yeah. Like when Liverpool was out of the Champions League or out of the Europa League, I still watched. Yeah. I watched Atalanta because I was like, hey, this is the team that beat us. Like, let's see what they can do, and they ended up winning the whole thing. Right. So it's like I just love the sport. I want to make it easier. There should be a way. Like the game is becoming too popular to have people being on all these different mediums to watch it.
Yes.
Which, go ahead.
No, just here in the U.S., right? We obviously have MLS, but
MLS is another thing.
I've stumbled upon a game we obviously with the Revolution here in town.
Are they on NESN?
No. Because Robert Kraft owns them. So they're on NBC Sports.
Well, I
Boston,
know that for MLS alone, you have to have an Apple TV Plus to get MLS. But it's not like, oh, I pay for Apple TV Plus because I like Ted Lasso. It's like a separate $70, $80. It's the same thing for Major League Baseball. Certain games in Major League Baseball are only aired on Apple TV Plus, but it's this specific one that's another $80.
Yeah. That's the reason why different sport, but with hockey, with the Bruins, we keep NESN so we can watch the Bruins because even though
playoffs,
then it's you got to hope that they've got a nationally televised game, which they usually do, but how accessible is that?
Right.
It's stupid.
It is stupid.
And I hate it.
You bunch of money-grubbing whores. You can still make plenty of money, but there's got to be a better way. Focus. Someone create an app or something that can pull all of these streaming services into one subscription so I can watch my team, whatever I want, whatever game they are on. For the love of God.
Because you could imagine, again, soccer is so popular worldwide. If you had someone came in and just fucking bought the television rights to everything, you'd make gobs of money.
Now, in the United States,
Estados Unidos.
See?
Yes.
If you wanted to watch your team, let's say they were like a Liverpool or something, they were in the Premier League, they were competing in all tournaments.
Yep.
How much money do you think it would take you total via streaming services to watch them in all forms?
In U.S. dollars?
Yes.
$145.
$100.
Still too much money.
Still too much money.
Now that's per year or is that per month? It's going to be per year.
Month.
What?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Don't care for that.
Per year? That'd be a fucking steal.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, so...
I'm still the asshole who has a full-blown cable subscription and I stream a bunch of shit.
That's fair. Paramount Plus is $12.99 a month.
Okay.
So that covers if you're in the Europa League, the Champions League.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
ESPN Plus covers your Carabao Cup and the FA Cup.
Oh, Christ. Okay.
Okay, so that's
a Disney company.
That is a Disney company. So
Okay.
that's a bundle with Disney, Hulu, and ESPN Plus. So you'll need some type of cable alternative.
Yep.
So like a Hulu TV.
Yeah.
So it's $76.99, which gets you ESPN Plus and Hulu, which would be the NBC component, NBC Sports component,
And Disney.
and Disney. But that's just
Okay.
take Disney out of the equation.
Sorry.
They don't. It is included, but has no bearing on this
No.
conversation. Okay.
Yep.
So you got that.
Yep.
Now, certain Premier League games
Yep.
are covered on NBC Sports, which is covered by your Hulu. Other games are only available on Peacock,
Right.
which used to be included if you had an Xfinity subscription.
Yep.
Now it's its own separate streaming
Correct.
at $7.99.
Motherfuckers.
So now you have to have
Or
that.
sorry. Yes. Go on.
Now, if you wanted to like only have Peacock, because all the games will eventually be on there, you
Yeah.
cannot watch them real time.
So
Certain
dumb.
games that aren't aired on Peacock, you have to wait 24 hours for the replay. It gets more ridiculous.
Okay. We're going in the deep end. We're going in the muddy waters. Okay.
Well, again, I didn't go into the too much detail, but certain clubs have their own like TV subscription
Yeah.
rights. LFC TV Go has you can listen to the audio for free,
Which I love.
which is great. That is like if I'm in the office
Mhm.
and I'm driving home, I'll throw that on. Again, you're talking about that midweek game.
Yep.
And sometimes it's just obviously you can't see the goals, right? You can hear the commentary, you can hear how animated they are. But sometimes it's just a better listen because I
Mhm.
feel like they're overly critical of their players.
Yes.
But again, that's technically, if you didn't have Hulu,
Okay.
if you had cable,
Yes.
you would be paying for cable to get NBC Sports.
Yeah.
You'd be paying for Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
You'd be paying for ESPN Plus, and you'd be paying for Peacock. You'd be paying for 4 different some type of cable or streaming services just to watch your team play. It is unlike any other sport.
Now, just because like how we have it set up at home, a lot of times the USA has the games.
USA is just part of the NBC bundle. It's basically you need a cable subscription or a streaming alternative that is a cable.
Yeah, because when they're on USA, I have the USA streaming app on one TV that I can watch it on the bigger TV, or I can just go downstairs and watch it on cable.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh, it's insane. Now again, it's different, right? Because Major League Baseball,
Mhm.
we'll go with the 4: the NBA, NFL, NHL, MLB. They're all playing teams that are on the same level, and these teams always stay there.
Yep.
They don't play teams from other countries. Well, I mean Canada, but right, you understand.
I get
So
you.
it is a little different. Whereas you have, the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, you have people from several leagues down in the English in the UK, right? The Europa League and the Champions League, you're playing teams from Spain, from Germany, from the Netherlands. So it is different, but it's like it's fucking 2024. Like the game, this is one of the oldest games around.
Yeah.
It's becoming exponentially more popular, especially in the United States. Like,
True.
Oh, well, sorry, and we'll talk about when it's the World Cup or it's
Oh,
Fox.
Jesus.
That's another one. So, like,
Motherfuckers.
if you didn't have cable, you'd have to Fox Sports.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's an absolute just bag of diarrhea.
Look what the Olympics did. Granted, they were on Peacock or NBC Sports, but like, it was a one-stop shop. It was just there. It was on all the NBC networks, and it was there. And like the streaming element, like you could choose whatever friggin' sport you wanted. It was all right there.
Yeah.
Why can't we do that?
Exactly. I think we're all.
I don't understand how it all works.
We're not here to provide the solutions. We're asking.
No, we are providing the solutions. We just don't. Or
No.
we have the answers. We
Well,
can't execute
We can't
the solution.
execute. We have the suggestion.
Yes.
The suggestion is that find a way to get them all in one streaming service,
Yep. Lock it up.
and I'll pay it as
Yeah.
long as it's less than $100. Because that's all I want. I just want to watch soccer on live TV. I'll keep my Netflix for those other shows, but I just want where I flip on. I could be like, oh, like there's La Liga. Oh, I can watch a Bundesliga game. Like that's all I want.
I think it's a very fair thing to ask for. That and world peace, ending world hunger.
Start small.
Start small.
I think.
I don't know. This is pretty big.
Not from a technology wise, it is so possible. It's all money. Yeah. It's all money.
Yeah.
Now, as we've just really ripped a new one, question is also, are we being a bit greedy? Do we have it better than we think, and should we not slap that hand because other countries, mainly the ones that kind of created the sport, have it way worse? I'll get into how worse they have it in just a moment.
I mean, I think we've become so accustomed to like the immediacy and like the immediate feedback of things here, where it's just like, no, I want it now, and I don't understand why I can't have it.
Exactly.
It's also 2024. Why can't it be that way?
That is a good question. But let me tell you something.
Tell me something.
In the UK, okay, where the Premier League is, no football games can be broadcast live on UK television between 2:45 p.m. and 5:15 p.m. on a Saturday. Which means that all those Saturday games...
What's on TV?
I mean, anything else.
Well, like what? Like what takes precedence over that? Like, I don't know if it's like, do they like air like Parliament hearings for like 3 hours? I honestly don't know.
So the question is, why is there a 3 p.m. TV blackout?
Yeah.
Well, the answer is it's fucking Burnley's fault.
Oh, okay, so tell me.
The rule was first introduced in the 1960s. The Burnley chairman at the time, Bob Lord, argued to the Football League that televising top-tier matches would affect lower league clubs' attendances. This was an era when gate receipts were clubs' main source of income. So because of that, right?
They haven't changed that? This is the 1960s. They have a massive fucking TV deal. It's 2024!
Again,
what?
Are we taking what we have for granted, knowing that now?
Because when teams come up, they get X amount of the cut of everything.
Yep.
Oh my god, so dumb. Some things in Europe are so archaic and like built in that like...
Come on, we haven't offended the English in a while. Hit me with it.
No.
Come on.
I'm trying to maybe go over there next year, so I don't want to... I've already said a few things. I'm gonna
like an elephant, they never forget.
I'm gonna just get off the plane. Oi!
It's that guy. So, if you're wondering, have there ever been any exceptions to the 3 p.m. blackout?
Have there?
The only exception has been the FA Cup final, which used to be broadcast at 3 p.m. on Saturday in May. It featured a full day of coverage on the TV, but in 2012, the trend ended and the FA Cup final was moved to a 5 p.m. kickoff. Fucking wild. I remember the first time, like, I was texting Pat about a West Ham game, and he's like, mate, he's like, I can't watch it. I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? And it's like, and he told me about the blackout, and I'm like, I don't understand.
It's not like the fog's rolled in again and like society shuts down.
Yeah. So
Jesus Christ.
Wild.
Does not help my wild idea of what England actually is.
Do you think like everybody still wears like bowler caps?
Yeah, no, I
think
I literally
umbrella canes.
Granted, my experience with anything in England is just from the Muppets Christmas Carol, so
never a dull moment.
I assume everyone knows the choreographed moves.
Oh yeah, of course.
Who doesn't? All right.
So yeah, that's
sorry.
So again, we do think that. Listen, America, we want everything. We want it now. There has to be a better way. The Navaliers find the way, but to that point, perhaps we do take our accessibility to the game we love so much for granted because others do not have it so well. And thus ends our conversation.
Yeah.
The accessibility of soccer in media. To which, let's turn back to this wine.
Let's.
Maybe pour a little bit more of it.
Yeah, I'll do a little taste.
And see where we're at. By the way, shout out to the Portuguese. I don't know if they're the ones who invented it, but it's the first place I ever saw it. Of wrapping a cloth napkin or paper towel, tying it around the neck of the bottle so that if you don't have the perfect twist at the end and a little bit drips out, it doesn't drip down the bottle, and then you have a ring on whatever table you put the bottle down.
Well, the first time we saw it, we were together the first time we saw it, and it was like a fucking magic trick.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
What'd you just do? He's like, oh no, this is what we tie, like, and it's like a beautiful knot they tie too. And I'm like, what?
I don't understand.
Like, yeah, this is so it doesn't drop out, and we're just like, oh,
I've done it, and everybody's like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, so it doesn't drip, and everyone's just like, that is amazing. I was like,
the Portuguese.
Fucking just an amazing people.
Amazing people. Small country, amazing people.
We've learned so much. The bidet.
Yeah.
Wrapping, a napkin around a wine bottle. What more could you ask?
Huh. Can't wait to go back.
Me either.
Yeah.
All right.
Checking in. What do you think? Has it changed? Is it the same?
This is where, I really miss what Christina Musto brought to the table. The ability for her to pull out all these notes. Because, there's definitely just... It's a different smell. It's not like a traditional just, jamberry. There are notes in there. I can't equate them to something.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it drinks like a very familiar wine. It's like a very easygoing table wine, but it's not sweet like a table red would be. But
it's got complexity to it.
Yeah, but I think you could easily run through a bottle of this with the lower ABV and the fact that nothing's cutting about it.
Nope.
Nothing's overly polarizing about it, and it just kind of is steady Eddie throughout.
I'm just going to keep huffing this thing until I figure out what I'm smelling. I mean, it's definitely something earthy.
Yeah, I get the tobacco part. And it said earthy notes towards the end.
What were the smell? It was rosemary, thyme, tobacco. Those were some of the ones on the nose.
Clove is another one. Fresh fruit, gasoline, sweet cassis. I couldn't tell you what cassis tastes like, so maybe that's what it is.
Gesundheit.
Bless you. Plum, red currant. I couldn't tell you what red currant tastes like.
Yeah. I can see the empty cigar box. I can see, the berry.
The texturally earthy finish brought through the matte tannins. I get it.
Yeah, matte finish.
Matte finish, yeah.
Fast and Furious. All right. So now that we have kind of gone through our mid-wine review, it is time for the Backpfeifengesicht. And as I alluded to earlier, the email address has gone all quiet. Our listeners have failed us, so you're just going to listen to Ryan and I talk about who we want to punch in the face. And for that, because it's been a little lacking, I have 2.
Love it.
Would you like me to go... how many do you have?
I have 1.
So would you like me to go first?
No, we'll sandwich it.
That
you go first, and then I go second.
So when I said, do you want me to go first, and you said, no, we'll sandwich it, that's...
Correct.
Yeah, okay. All right. So my first pick is Calvin Phillips.
Ah, I had a feeling. You get a picture? You going to fire a picture up?
Oh, yeah, I'll throw him up. It's not like... He doesn't have an... Well, I mean, it's kind of a punchable face. The hair is wild. But really, it's more the fact that... Well, actually, I have a quote that I'll read at the end. And this was before he went to now, obviously...
Ipswich.
Right.
Nailed it.
Yep. Pulled the old Ipswitcheroo.
Oh!
So the fact that he was the driving force in the midfield for what I thought was a very pleasing on the eye Leeds team. Not only that, it had, I think, at 1.3 USA players. So there was a soft spot in my heart for Leeds United.
Sure
with,
was.
Jesse Marsch, and he went. Eyes got too wide. Man City came a-calling. I don't blame him for making that decision, but once he left the kind of stability, because he's a talented player. I mean, he started for England when he was playing. The stability of that midfield kind of went down the shitter, and I think one of the big reasons why they weren't able to stay up. So that kind of stung. So I hold a grudge for that. But I think before he went to Ipswich, he went to West Ham United and didn't have the greatest start. I think like the first game he got a red card, and then afterwards like couple starts just it wasn't great. And so I think when he first signed, everyone's just like, oh yeah, the Yorkshire Pirlo, and some guy was just like, Yorkshire Pirlo. He's like, it's more like a Yorkshire pudding. So I thought that was.
Love that.
Funny. So Calvin Phillips is the first one for the Backpfeifen Gazette because I had a soft spot for Leeds, I had a soft spot for Jesse Marsch, I had a soft spot for U.S.-based players, and honestly, like I think he would punch himself in the face because he's kind of hopefully Ipswich is kind of his kickback, although it hasn't started the way he's wanted.
No,
but he's kind of torpedoed his career.
Yeah.
So if I'm not hitting him, he's probably hitting himself.
Yeah. It's a good call. I like that. Solid pick. Mine is young Samuel Joseph Smodics. Sammy Smodics.
Smodics?
Oh, definitely not.
No.
There it is.
There it is.
Nope. Yeah, there it is.
Oh, there's a Z in there.
Yeah. Yes.
Smodics.
Yeah, it's almost like Polish. It's very Slavic. But he plays for the Republic of Ireland national team.
That is... I was going to be like... Because it's very Soboslai with the SZ.
Oh, that's also a good call.
Ireland was not... Okay.
Yeah, not on your bingo card?
No.
And again, couldn't pick this guy out of the lineup. And there were a couple things as going through the Ipswich kind of roster. I kept coming back and looking at this player, and I was like, there's something about his initial picture that made me feel uneasy. And he almost has a Dexter-like look to him, like he knows where the bodies are buried. Go up top and go to players. Go back.
I got it. I'll get there. This is where we needed to go?
No.
Oh, this is not the Dexter picture?
No.
Hey, though.
Dad O'Shea!
You can get another one.
Go up top. Go over to players.
Right there?
Yeah, hit that. Right there, boom.
Oh, yeah.
He has this weird Dexter look to him. He might have cut someone or something up into numerous pieces, dumped some in a river, and then buried some in his backyard under in a shallow grave. And then further looking upon him, what? He reminds me of someone that's not a serial killer. He has a bit of the Danny Ings in him a little bit.
You want to hit him because he's...
No, I couldn't figure out who he kind of looks like, and he looks like a poor man's Danny Ings. Danny Ings. And not just because I wanted to do the impression. Okay. He does legit look like Danny Ings. And this brought me to another point where I am at times very jealous of the people in the UK, their jawlines. I don't know why they have to do castings for the next Superman. Go to the fucking UK and pick out any dude walking the street because they all have fucking Superman Clark Kent chins and strong ass jawlines.
Do you know why? It's having to chew through all that tough food.
Yeah.
That's really builds up the strength.
It's like you're constantly chewing on one of those fucking workout balls. Yeah, and the fact that even if you were to strike him, it'd be like hitting that friggin' what the hell's that thing called? No, in the middle with the rope on it.
Lally column?
Yeah, it'd be like hitting a lally column. It's just like hitting a pure piece of stone.
Lally column, I don't know if for our UK listeners, there's maybe 3, is a support beam typically in your basement that runs across the main support of the house. It's load bearing. It's just a pole. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, he just something about it caught my eye. I said that guy's gonna get. He's also a wee 5'7".
Gotta pick on the weave. All right, so now we'll go to my.
I feel good.
Yeah, no, it's a good one. My last one is Kieran Slicker, and I channeled my inner Rebecca going for a backup goalie.
Love it.
But really, when I looked at him at first, I was like, why do I hate this face? And first, it was, if you've ever watched the ridiculous franchise the Fast and the Furious, he reminds me of Vinny from the first one.
Great comparison.
Also in Fast 5, dies then, kind of redeems himself, but again, the franchise is ridiculous. So Vinny is definitely an asshole. Obviously wanted to get with Dom's sister, if we're really going to go down that rabbit hole. Didn't like, what was Paul Walker's character's name?
Brian.
Didn't like Brian. I mean, for good reason. He's the only one who really thought he was a cop. But anyway, just got that kind of that Vinny look to him. And then I look even closer, and it's like if Vinny and Tony Stark kind of had a love child. So he's got like the Tony Stark like goatee-esque.
He's got the mustache, soul patch.
It doesn't have like
chin
the
thing.
Right. I mean, I love Robert Downey Jr., Tony Stark, but again, it's really more just the Vinny from Fast and Furious. I want to hit him a quarter mile at a time.
Yeah.
So that was my he just looks like a douche.
Yeah, some of his pictures look much better than others. Jesus.
I mean, we're just going with, hey, if this is your team headshot. If this one isn't good, then I'm sorry. Like, this is the one that's on the official website.
Like, he might not have any pants on. Like, that's like a pose you're like,
yeah.
I gonna see my dick.
Yeah.
I gonna see my willy.
It's out right now. It's out right now. It's out.
There is one picture on the interwebs where he has a massive fucking cement head.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
I mean, he might also be like 15 in that picture, so. Oh, God. It has his FIFA rating when he was like 14. He was a 53, by the way, if you were wondering.
That sounds about right. So, yeah, that's my pick.
It's a great pick.
Yeah.
We haven't hit on a backup goalkeeper in a while, so I think we'll get it.
All right. So now that we have wrapped up the back of Pfeifen Gesicht.
It feels good.
It does. It was, no real true animosity.
No. We haven't had like one real like hate-filled one in a while. Which is good. I think we're growing as people.
No, we're not.
No, I'm actually getting shorter by the day.
I'm growing sideways.
No, dude, you look great. I'm telling you.
I haven't exhaled this entire episode. I've just... It's going to go all Funhouse Mirror real quick.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you. Beard looks great, especially on top of the white jersey. Contrast.
Myanmar.
Yeah, represent.
All right, so now that we've wrapped that up, let's give our final thoughts, score of the wine, and then we'll talk about the wine and topic for next episode. So I've got a number in my head.
Okay.
I'm just going to go quick.
First.
Not really going to rehash anything. I'm going to give this a 7.9.
Dude.
I really enjoyed it. I don't think it was enough to like break into the like love like 8's threshold.
Right.
Solid wine. And I couldn't, again, really discern too many flavors, but I like the smell. I like the taste. 7.9 in the books.
Mike, this is a Vino Volley first. I am also going 7.9.
Wow.
And I had it rolling around since the first couple sips where, again, not going to cross the eighth threshold, but like holds up. Like this is...
For $14, $13, it's great.
Like I might go back to the Vin and buy another bottle of this just to see, like at home, like how like Sabrina likes it.
Yeah.
And I think again,
Vin 2 for 2, by the way.
2 for 2. Our dude James, killing it. But yeah, I really like it. This could be again afternoon, sitting around, kind of casually sipping, cooking, prepping, whatever. Yeah, I dig it. I really like it, but I don't think it does cross into that like upper echelon of like have to have it, leaves a core memory.
Sure.
So yeah,
cool.
There we go.
All right, so now that we've wrapped that up, it's time to first identify the team that we'll be talking about next week for the Back Pfeifen Gesicht, and that will be none other than newly promoted Southampton.
They're back.
they're back and they're gonna get it. They're gonna get it. So yeah, we're excited to. I mean, I had a lot of fond memories from some Southampton players. Adam Lallana will always soft spot. But anyway,
come back.
So anyway, we'll talk about them. But Rye, why don't you tell the folks the wine we'll be drinking next episode? I'll quickly identify how it's going to relate. However loosely it will relate to the topic.
Yep.
And we'll close things out.
So we're going back to the boot. We're going back to Italy, and I'm very excited. As all our Italian wines have rated very high on the show, we are drinking the Guido Bono Barbera di Alba from 2022. I'm super pumped about this wine.
Now, the one thing about this wine, it is a very classic, very simple label, but it does have 2 lines on it. And as I said, very loosely based relation wine to topic. Since it does have lines in it, Ryan and I are going to bring to the table moments in soccer that have crossed the line. So we are going to bring our top, this time since we're not going to do a good, bad kind of thing, it's just going to be one list. We're going to do 4 with an honorable mention.
4 with an honorable mention?
Yep.
Love it.
And we're going to see if great minds think alike, if sometimes the moments that we thought crossed the line, I mean, there's obviously some big ones that
there's some obvious ones, but I feel like
I think I'm gonna try and go to that niche market of moments that cross the line.
Yeah,
like actually, I'm not.
I'm not gonna give
anything away. So, I think we say this every episode, and we do because it's just part of the shtick. But we would love to keep going.
We would.
But after VAR review, we are officially out of wine, and thus we'll need to put the final cork in this episode and say, listen to us next time on another exciting episode of Vino Volley. Ryan, please, take us home.
As always, folks, remember to sip and soccer responsibly. We bid you a Freddie adieu.